Alright, welcome back folks, it's Crazy Welder, and in today's video I'm doing a follow-up to the controllers that I did, specifically the controller mod for Knuckles, for the Windows Mixed Reality controllers, in my case also the Samsung Mixed Reality controller or the Samsung Odyssey. Now what you can see is that this time around I've kind of made some changes to the way the controller works. As I mentioned before, one of the things that I wanted to do was to get one of these sort of toggle connectors that I can actually put on with some zip ties. And what I realized after doing this is that you actually really don't want to cut the cord on this end. You really just want to leave it in a loop, because what ends up happening when you cut it in a cord like this is it ends up slapping around a lot, which is obviously not convenient. But something else that I've done here is I finally added that second much smaller piece, so I now don't have this giant sort of orange thing sticking out and also ultimately hurting my hand. This has so far made a pretty big difference in terms of controller feel. I also don't seem to have nearly as much pressure on my hand with this mounted the way that it is right now. So what you can see is, it stays in my hand just as well as it did before, but at the same time it also looks a little bit nicer. And eventually what I'm going to end up doing is I'll also end up kind of making this into a loop by melting these two pieces together and putting some heat shrink tubing so that I have something that looks a little bit cleaner than the way that it looks now. The reason I'm not taking these off and actually looping them currently is because I still want to see if I can't get a bigger handle for this part so it actually holds my hands a little bit better. At the moment it's pretty good, but I still feel like it can be improved further. So again, just so you guys can kind of tell how much of a difference it is, you can see that there's pieces here that are completely different in terms of their sizing, and so the result is it's just a much better experience. Now you can see also up on top, now I no longer have to deal with any kind of a sticky solution being on the controller because I'm not using the VHB tape for this part anymore. And also obviously you can see that I've taken the sort of crimping tool that's at the end of this thing and I've just kind of let these controller parts dangle. So I'm going to do some playtesting with it now and see if it really does make a huge difference, and we'll go from there. Ultimately, in the next video, I should have this thing finished up with the final version of the grips, and also have the loop connected so that you can see the final result of all of the research that I've done on this.